What I've realized with starting my business is that everyone wants things to be perfect, but you don't even know your whole story by the time you start your business.
Hey guys, welcome to the Your Wealthy Journey show. My name is Joseph Simeon Deonaraine, and today we have Priyanka Kedia as our future guest. Priyanka, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Um, who is Priyanka? Priyanka is a founder of a startup called Ayva Jewelry. She's from San Francisco. She worked for a company, she worked for corporate companies such as Safeway and Unilevel. And Priyanka was born and raised in a family of jeweler in Mumbai. And she's inspired by her family centuries old heritage. Priyanka aims to carry um, this celebration on of love and life with her jewelry among her Iva collector. Did I have that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Priyanka, let's get started. What does wealth means to you?
So wealth to me basically means creating my own legacy. It's money is important and it's an important part of that equation. But I honestly feel like for wealth is actually what you do with that money, and how you use that money and how you give back is what defines you actually in the end.
Okay, awesome. And this idea of your business. Tell us about a bit more about yourself and about your business. What do you
So
do?
So my business is basically I create fine jewelry, and I'm the founder of Ayva Jewelry, and I create fine jewelry for the modern woman.
Okay, so only jewelry for women, not for men.
Yes, no, unfortunately not yet.
Oh, not yet.
It's in the works, but not yet.
Okay, awesome. And the process from the idea of this business to the reality, like how long did it take you to turn your business idea into a business reality?
So do you want me to tell you how I got the idea, or how long did it take?
Okay, you can start from where you got the idea.
Okay. Like I said, I worked in corporate before, and I was just going up the basically like the ladder, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to start my own business, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So like I think there are a lot of people who have that same struggle. It's just you keep thinking about it, but nothing really clicked with me. I had a bunch of ideas, not that I didn't, but nothing really stuck and nothing really clicked in terms of, you know what, this is it and I need to start my business. So my last job that I had was very stressful, and I ended up quitting my job, and I stayed home for a few months trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, essentially. I stayed home and I still couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And then just in the meantime, my grandmother passed away unexpectedly. And when she did, it was really hard for me because I was very close to her. But then I ended up inheriting some of her jewelry.
Okay.
When I did, I kind of felt really good about it because I felt like a part of her stayed with me forever. And that's how the idea of Ayva Jewelry came along, because I wanted people to understand that jewelry is more than just an accessory. It's something that helps preserve those memories in life. It's like, you always have that ring or that earring or something that was worn by your great-grandmother or your grandmother or your mother even. And when you wear it or when you have it with you, it always reminds you of them. So it's preserving life's most cherished memories for me. So that's how I got the idea, and I knew I had to start Ayva Jewelry so that I can help spread that message to people.
Okay, and since you got the idea, how long did it take you to become a reality, to really start a
So
business?
when I had the idea, it took me a year of planning and trying to figure out how I'm going to finance my business in literally a whole year. And while I was, technically I had planned for a year and a half of planning because I'm a perfectionist. So I just wanted everything to be well aligned and everything ready to go.
Okay.
But then in the meantime, while I was in the planning stages, I applied for a design competition. when I did, I won an award for it. So they asked me to come in and exhibit, and they gave me a free exhibit space actually for one of the trade shows. So when I got that, I had to I had to cut short 6 months and jumpstart my business. And I literally remember that I had to leave for the trade show on Saturday, and I got my business cards on Friday. So it was a crazy nightmare, and just everything happened so fast at that point. But I'm kind of glad I did, because if I had like taken more time, if I'd taken that extra 6 months, I'm sure I would have taken another 6 months
Yeah.
to keep planning and keep making sure that everything is perfect. But I think it was a whole year of planning on my end, which I don't think was a very smart idea, by the way. But it was a whole year of planning that went in to start my business.
Okay, so the best takeaway we can have here is take action as soon as possible, right?
Yes, and nothing like what I've realized with starting my business is that everyone wants things to be perfect,
Yeah.
but you don't even know your whole story by the time you start your business. Like you just have to go at it, and you have to keep going with the flow. Like with Amazon is my biggest example. They started with just doing books, and then they kept refining their story, and now they are like this giant company. And I feel like that's how business is supposed to be. You just go head on and figure it out along the way, because there's no way you can figure out everything in the beginning.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere to become great.
Exactly.
Our next question is, what was your biggest struggle? What is the biggest struggle you faced in starting your business?
I feel like my biggest struggle was not knowing where to start, and I think that's what took me so long. It's just that it was an overwhelming process, because when you start your business, it's just there's so many things that need to be in place before you actually decide that, you know what, I'm going to launch my business. And like even from like the basics is, getting a graphic designer to, or getting someone to do your branding and someone to do your website. It's like there's so much.
Yeah.
And where do you prioritize first was my other challenge when I was starting my business. And I honestly realized that the saying, when it rains it pours. It's so true when you're an entrepreneur, because everything always seems to come in at the same time. It's Most of the time it's kind of quiet, but when it comes in, everything comes in at the same time. And then it's like, where do I focus my attention is was my one of my biggest struggles initially.
Okay, and what did you do to overcome the struggle, like to be prepared for those big things that happen?
I think the biggest thing that helped me was asking. I
Okay.
just asked people. And I feel like it's such an underutilized tool, but just asking people and realizing that, there are a lot of people out there willing to help you if, as long as you just ask.
Okay. People just ask. Um, and what did you do, like when you didn't earn the money? Like how long did it take you to earn your first dollar when you started the business?
So for me, I think so. Like I said, I mentioned I had to go in for my trade show, and I ended up getting 2 orders at the trade show.
Okay.
And when I did, that was within the first month of me, like literally within days of me launching. And but I didn't have to ship my order, so payment obviously comes when you ship your order. So that was my shipment dates were in October, not October, sorry, in June.
Okay.
So I had 6 months before I had to ship my order. So I knew I had to wait for 6 months before I would get paid. So it was a 6 month waiting period.
Okay. But you had business already.
Yes, I had orders outstanding, 2 outstanding orders in the first few weeks.
Okay, awesome. And let's talk a bit about your business. Where are you guys going in the next few years, or in the coming year, 2018? Where are you guys going? What's your vision for the company?
So my vision for my company is basically I want to tell my story about how I started my own business as well. It took me a few years to not a few years actually quite a lot of time to figure out what I really wanted to do with my life. Like I knew that I wanted to start a business, like I mentioned, and I just didn't know how to go about it, and I didn't. Maybe I was too afraid to start. But and then I have two young kids, so that was the other thing, that how do I start a business when I have two young kids?
Yeah.
So my vision for 2018 is basically telling my story and encouraging other women to pursue their passion. Doesn't matter if you're a mother or you have some, I'm sure that a lot of like there are a lot of women who aspire to do a lot, but there's so much holding them back, because being women, it's not easy to just let go of everything and not, not have any guilt when you have families behind them. So my vision is to inspire all those women to just go out and live their dream. You only live once, so go out and do it. And you know what? You can just, there are a lot of people who are there to help you. So don't feel like you're alone and you can't accomplish what you want to do.
Okay, well, you don't have to wait for 2018. You will start actually in December 2017, the story will get published.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And our question is, what will you advise millennials or young people, or in your case, you want to inspire women? What will you advise women to do to start a business of their dreams?
So for me, I've actually been talking to a lot of women, and they include, they're like millennials as well as slightly older women as well. But what I've noticed a lot is a lot of women have a common theme in place. There's always that when you're a mother and you have your own business, there's always mom guilt in there. There's always mom guilt involved. There's always some kind of guilt, like I mentioned, involved when you start your own business. But you know what? You have to just remember that it's hard to juggle. I'm not saying it's not hard to juggle, but for me, I honestly feel like you have to balance your life and not be so hard on yourself that you basically succumb to the pressure, under the pressure that, you know what, I can't start my business because I have to be perfect with everything. No, you don't have to be perfect. Like, your kids are fine, so is your business. If you don't do one thing here and you don't do one thing here, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. So for me, honestly, it's a lot of like telling women who are in very similar situations as me, is just telling them that, you know what, guilt is there, and you just have to try your best and basically not feel like you have to be perfect at everything.
Okay, can you maybe give us an example how you balance yourself, your family life and your business life?
Yes, so my kids in the morning is all about my kids. I go drop them to school. I make their lunches. So in the morning I wake up, and as soon as I do, I'm running behind the kids till I drop them to school. I come back and I start working till like 4:30 in the afternoon, and after that it's basically time with my kids again. Then when I put them to sleep is when I start working again. I do a lot of overseas. My manufacturing is all overseas, so it kind of works out perfectly for me, because that's when India and China start. So when they start is when my kids go to sleep, and then I can start working with them late at night. So during the day I try to work with all my customers, and at night I work with my suppliers.
Okay, that's awesome. And that was round one. What's the best book you've ever read, and why is that?
My best book I've read is Made to Stick.
Okay.
And I really, really like that book. Honestly, I feel like it teaches you how to communicate effectively. Communication for me is one of, I think it's not only communicating when you have your own business, but even communicating when you have kids. Because you can keep talking to them, but if you don't communicate effectively with them, they're never going to listen to you. And it's the same thing with your business. It's just when you want to communicate, you have to make sure that you are communicating effectively. And I think this book really teaches you how to do that. And it teaches you like how to create those stories, or how to create those pitches that actually make people interested in what you're doing.
Okay. And what's a daily habit that contributes to your success?
Uh, my daily habit, honestly, being a mother of two, I don't have anything that I say that I stick to every single day. I know all the good daily habits that you should have, but honestly, in the morning when I am to wake my kids up, that all goes out the door. So the biggest thing that I honestly feel is that I do every day is just have gratitude, and gratitude for having wonderful kids and a wonderful family. And I think that that's the most important thing for me, actually.
Awesome. And who are your top 3 role models?
My 3 role models will be Bill and Melinda Gates and Warren Buffett.
Wow.
Yes.
Bill, Melinda Gates. Okay. Awesome. And what's the best entertaining movie you watched so far?
Um, you know what? I don't watch a lot of movies, but I honestly feel that I'm a big sucker for Marvel movies. And I just watched Thor Ragnarok recently, and I actually loved it.
Okay. I
But I
haven't.
do watch a lot of shows, TV shows. So I like those because I can binge watch them and I can watch as much as I want. I don't have to sit through the whole movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Marvel movies are awesome.
I know I love Marvel movies.
Yeah, me too. Um, let's say you woke up one day, you didn't have any money, only food, shelter, a laptop, and the internet. What would you do in the next 30 days to earn $1,000?
That's a tough question. I actually had to think a lot about that.
Okay.
I think I would probably do some kind of consulting on like all these freelance sites now. I have no idea what I would do, but you got me thinking. I have to like have a backup plan.
Okay.
But I probably would be like on one of those freelancing sites and just consult
Okay. Awesome.
and share my experiences, what I've learned as a business owner, I guess.
Okay. And give us a parting piece of advice and let us know how we can connect with you.
My parting piece of advice would be just ask. Don't be afraid to ask. And you'll be surprised at how many people are willing to help you if you just ask them, for help. So I'm always here. And if anyone needs to reach out to me, you can always email me. I'm more than happy to help. I have not gotten here without help, to be honest. It's a lot of people, important people in my life who have helped me, and a lot of strangers who have helped me in this process of getting to where I need to be. So I am more than happy to help people out as well. And please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is info@ayvajewelry.com.
Okay. No Facebook pages are so where you can
I
find.
do have a Facebook page. I do have a Facebook page. You can message me on Facebook as well. But we get a lot of messages on Facebook. So if you reach out to me through email, it will be wonderful because I can get back to you promptly.
Okay. Awesome. This was the end of the show, Priyanka. Thank you for being here on the show with us, and thank you for sharing your story. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.